11. And this is defining PFI's anti-India mission. Why we believe, and there is the belief within the intelligence outfit and the government agencies. The agencies believe their agenda is to alter the DNA of Bharat. Their mission is anti-India, because this is what they want to do. These are create tension in all communities, even among Muslims, because they believe that only by stirring the pot internally within the community also, that they can also rise and cannibalize other outfits, other groups, create a rift between common man and the government. So create this entire thing that socially there is a rift and there is a problem, and try and create this perception and then go ahead and make them believe this perception. Use the Supreme Court Ayodhya verdict to galvanize India sentiment via seminars and rally. So this entire aspect of the courts are also now not with us, not with Muslims. So to try and push that kind of a narrative. Use Gyanvapi issue to try and instigate Muslims. देखो राम मंदिर चला गया, कोर्ट से करवा लिया, अब इसके पीछे आए हैं. Now you have no other option but to stand. अभी हिंदुओं को सबक नहीं सिखाया तो कब सिखाओगे? This is now or never. Otherwise Muslims will be wiped out from India. This is the kind of narrative that they are pushing on ground. Label NRC as anti-Muslim. Again, misinformation. Create fear among Muslims. देखो, their register निकाल रहे हैं. तुम्हारी identity निकाल के तुमको यहाँ से निकाल देंगे. This is the kind of narrative that's being pushed. Whip up sentiment against CA, which has got nothing to do with Indian citizens, but to increase enrollment and donations. CA से बचना है, NRC से बचना है, तो हमारे साथ खड़े हो जाओ. हम तुम्हारे लिए लड़ेंगे. This kind of narrative being pushed. Term instant 3 talaq ban as encroachment into personal Muslim laws. हमारे हक छीन रहे हैं, शरीयत में हाथ डाल रहे हैं. This is the kind of language that's being used and tonality that's being used. Term Article 370 abrogation as a bid to hurt Jammu and Kashmir Muslims' rights. Reject national education policy as interfering with the system. Raise funds for Rohingyas for anti-CA and anti-NRC agitations. In fact, our investigation on ground, use GOI logo on PFI website to back Palestine, hurt India-Israel ties. So this is all the kind of aspect of riding on international issues also. Rizwan Saab, so many narratives which then ring true, because various ones have been used, Dr. Syed Rizwan, to create social unrest on ground.
Yeah, thanks. Exactly this all I was trying to pinpoint it to you and the learned panel members. See, what I feel, that government came a little too late. This action was due somewhere in 2015 and 16, what I feel. And at this stage, they are such a multi-facet organization. I don't know how many will agree that that government came late. That it is such a multi-facet organization that they will have many tentacles which shall be absolutely legitimate. And if the government will crack down there, then the courts will come into the picture. And more or less in South India, you must have noticed the conspicuous silence of Asaduddin Owaisi. Because somebody told me about a month back that 5 years down the line, Telangana and Hyderabad, PFI will take over AIMIM. So what I feel, that government came late, about 3 to 4 years late. These actions were required earlier. God knows they were riding on PFI or they were ignorant about PFI. This I cannot comment on.
Srivastavji, where do you stand on this? These kind of narratives being stitched, wasn't the intelligence mechanism wiser? Shouldn't this crackdown have happened earlier? Is it timely or a little too late?
I would like to tell you about the genesis of Indian Mujahideen, which basically came into being in sometime in 2001, 2002. And prior to that, there was a student wing by the name SIMI.
Islamic
and many
movement
of the
India.
members from the SIMI, many of these members from the SIMI, they came over to the Indian Mujahideen. And we remember the Delhi Police Special Cell investigated along with other sister agencies, and finally we were able to wipe them out sometime the last such terrorist attack was in 2013. So what I want to say is that very minuscule percentage of the Muslims were actually involved in this, and they had this mindset. It was through the personal contact, the Bhatkal brothers and other influential members of the Indian Mujahideen. Wherever they went, they tried to influence some youth, and they inducted them into the Indian Mujahideen. So, and PFI, which was active earlier in the South India, now it is trying to get its footprint in the Northern India, and 3 such incidents which I had mentioned. What they are trying to do is that they want the larger number of the Muslim community should come forward, even though I don't know how much they are responding. But the attempt is that wherever there are incidents, wherever they can influence the Muslim members, they influence them and commit riots where even the Muslims would be harmed, and this way there some youths will try get into the terrorist fold. So this is how they are operating and trying to get more support from their community.
So you're saying that the number of people who are actually backing SIMI or IM was not a huge number, but it was enough to cause damage. But now you're saying the PFI, what they're doing is create social unrest, create a sense of alienation, so increase your recruitment and try and spread and use this entire template pan-India. So they started, experimented, used Kerala as their, as a state where they would experiment, use Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and then try and spread in that region. And now they're present in 23 states. Rizwanji had some, he's been raising his hand. Yes, Dr. Saab.
I would like to add.
No.
Okay, one second, Dr. Saab Rizwan. Let Mr. Srivastav complete, and then I'll come back to you between the two, and then I'll bring in Abhishek and Abhijit. Ji. Yes, Srivastav ji.
Yes, this anti-CA, the protest demonstrations and thereafter the Northeast riots. In that, what we had noticed that there again they spread some falsehood that once the CA gets into once CA is implemented, many of the Muslims, they would be driven out from India and they will lose citizenship, etc. And such fear was created, and they could, through this, they could garner some support in terms of demonstrations, and also the number of people who committed the riots in the Northeast. It was through spreading of falsehood that they were able to get these things done.
And they were also cannibalizing local groups, Muslim groups, political outfits which had perhaps sway over certain sections of the Muslim society, saying, "Ye tumhare liye kuch nahi karenge, tum hamare saath jud jao, hum tumhare liye ladenge." So this kind of narrative spinning also happened, trying to push this alienation narrative and saying, "I am the savior, I am the only option, come to me." In their documents which have been seized, even in Bihar, in that Fulwari Sharif, there also they said 10% of the Muslim population, if we are able to get it, we'll take control. So those are things which are part of their objective statements. Yes.